I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to look at Dietrich Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity and the Nigerian political situation, Nigerian socio-political situation. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was born in Germany, a pastor, Lutheran pastor, was born in 1906 and died in 1945. He was hanged by Hitler for plotting against him. He was a preacher at the time when Hitler and his Nazi people were on the rise, where innocent people had stones thrown through their glass windows into their shops. People were humiliated, people were discriminated against, and it is as if the minds of the people had been captured by Hitler. And he was preaching against the evil, unlike pastors of today. And one day, he was arrested by two men and taken to a concentration camp. While in the concentration camp, he started reasoning why people were doing so much evil in a nation just like Nigeria is, that was blessed with intelligent people, people who were great scholars, great writers, great scientists. He was wondering. And then he came upon this revelation of stupidity. Dietrich Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity is a little bit different from that of Marco Cipolla. And some of you will say, oh, doctor, you're a philosopher. I'm quoting a pastor, a German pastor. He wrote that stupidity is more dangerous than malice or evil. That an evil person, you can use force to suppress him. But a stupid person, you can't use force to suppress a stupid person. I'm going to do a video on the African church, false prophets, and stupidity after this video. He found out that stupid people are such that you are defenseless against them. They can do anything to you. They don't care. You are defenseless against them. I found out that stupid people are not intellectually deficient. It's just that they are mentally impervious. There's nothing, coconut head, blockhead. There's nothing you will tell them. They are impervious to reasoning, impervious to logic. You can't reason with them. And because their minds are blocked, when you try to correct them or change them, they become defensive, irritated, and violent. So, the defect in their minds is usually as a result of admiration of a powerful figure, admiration of a very charismatic figure. They outsource their reasoning, their intellect to that person. And Dietrich Bonhoeffer said that very, very brilliant people, very, very intelligent people can be plagued by this form of stupidity. And that people who are who might be seen as not too intelligent can have wisdom and escape stupidity. He found out that stupid people allow themselves or they are made stupid. When you keep hearing slogans, doctrines, teachings, songs, you come to imbibe them. Is it what's the propaganda chief of Hitler? He said that when a lie is told repeatedly to a people, they come to believe it as truth. No, stupidity is less common with those who stay on their own and more common in groups, maybe because of group effect. Somebody did a research and there were lines. The lines, people were made to believe, one of the research subjects who did not know, because other people were saying this line is equal to the other lines, and definitely it was shorter, you could see it. The person who was alone succumbed to the pressure of the group saying that the lines were equal. So group effect can make you stupid. And that's why you see stupidity is very popular. Large crowds. Anytime you see large crowds with one man controlling them, putting every person under subjugation, stupidity is inevitable. In politics, in religion, in social movements, stupidity is inevitable. So, stupid people give up on their reasoning. They are usually very stubborn and adamant. And, excuse me, when you try to correct them, when you want to correct them, they respond with slogans, they respond with cliches, they respond with catchwords, they sometimes respond with scriptures, and then sometimes they react with dismissal. They just dismiss you. Just try to bring out something concerning a church folk or a political folk. The next thing he will do is to attack you, abuse you. I see it so much on social media. They are very, very difficult to correct or convince, as I said earlier on. And according to Mark Twain, it is easier to fool someone than to convince him that he is being fooled. It is easier to fool oneself than to fool others. I was watching an interview of a woman that came to protest in support of Akpabio over this Natasha and Akpabio issue. Number one, she didn't know why she was there. Number two, she was thinking that they were preventing Akpabio from being a Senate president. Number three, she didn't really know the issue involved, but she carried placard. Stupidity. Somebody would collect 20,000 naira, in Edo State, drove to the polling station, collected 20 naira and gave his voter's card to somebody to go and thumbprint and submit. You have a car? Why come with the car, collect 20,000 for 4 years? You go and cheat in exams for your child. You go and buy, look for question papers, give to your child. Why question papers? Before time. And you don't see anything wrong with it. It's difficult to correct a Nigerian that tribalism does not pay you. That this man is from your tribe does not mean anything. It's very difficult to convince a Nigerian that if you break Nigeria into city-states, that the same corruption, the same oppression, the same evil will be there. I did a video on the invasion of Ikeja Electricity Company by people from the Air Force Base in Ikeja. The commander of the Air Force base is a Yoruba man. The CEO of the Ikeja distributing company is a Yoruba man. A great majority of the workers there are Yorubas that were brutalized and vandalized. So, if you try to tell somebody that, he won't listen to you. If I tell you that it took many years to complete the second Niger bridge, and that the number of bridges from Lagos to Calabar are very many, and it will take several years and so a large amount of money to build those bridges, you won't listen. And so one of the problems we have in this country, or the major problem we have in this country, is stupidity. Using Dietrich Bonhoeffer's theory. People with blockheads that cannot reason, people with fixated minds that become aggressive when you tell them about the truth. If you tell somebody from some parts of this country that they are backward because of their leadership, who want them backward so that they can control them, he will attack you. He will attack you. And so, the thing we need to do, how do you destupidize this kind of people? They need an external force to free them from the grip of the manipulator. They become willing slaves. They become used by these manipulators. They are used, their lives are wasted, and they fight against those who want to liberate them and fight against their fellow oppressed people. What is called Stockholm Syndrome. They come to love their oppressors. You know, sometimes I wonder what the Fulani herdsman benefits from working with cows in the bush, sleeping in the bush, macheting a fellow poor farmer, while the owners of the cows are living in very beautiful houses. Sometimes I can't understand. They don't own the cows. The cows are owned by the Gidan Fulani or the very rich man. I don't understand. I don't understand why a retired, a traditional ruler will have a kidnap gang in his community, give them his car, what's the name of this car? ROX 300 or so, to go and rob and bring money in his domain. I can't understand why a soldier will carry bullets to go and sell to Boko Haram to afflict his own people, his own fellow soldiers. I can't understand why a Muslim will go and attack fellow Muslims in the mosque. I can't understand why you will even go to church and kill Christians. I don't understand. I don't seem to understand their foolishness. The problem is that we've had transgenerational stupidity ingrained in our minds. And it will take a great force, drastic change, and very determined leadership to remove stupidity from our heads. How can you vandalize electricity, cables that supply electricity to people? How can you losing railway lines, tracks, and carry and sell as condemn? How can you go to Abuja, new road that is being done, you carry the covers of the drainages to sell? How can you sell fake drugs to your own people, expired drugs to your own people? How can you produce fake drinks? Why don't you use the same energy to produce the original one or distribute? How can they give you money to do a contract, to do road to your community? You refuse to do it. I don't understand. A stupid person is very difficult to understand. He himself does not understand himself. See, very stupid people are very dangerous people. And Marco Cipolla said, the normal people underestimate the consequences of what stupid people can do to their society. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. I have a webinar coming up on the 14th and on the 15th of March. Send the message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. It's tagged how to wisdom to legitimately make more money. We have properties for sale. The number again +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you. Don't be one of the stupid people.